achieve something. You receive positive feedback from someone. Maybe you pass an exam, complete a project, or get recognized somewhere. From the outside, everything looks fine. But inside, a voice begins. Did I really deserve this? What if people realize I'm not as good as they think? I was just lucky. I'm fooling them. This success doesn't really belong to me. And even though success has arrived, instead of feeling relieved, you feel tense. As if your competence isn't real. As if at any moment someone will come and expose you. If you experience this, it doesn't mean you are a fraud. It resembles an experience often discussed in psychology as the imposter phenomenon or imposter syndrome. But there is a very important distinction here. You may not feel this way because you are actually inadequate. Your brain may be interpreting success not as a safe place, but as a risky one. If this topic feels familiar to you, liking this video helps me understand that this kind of content is meaningful for you. I can create more content on this topic. Let's understand this more deeply, because most people assume this. If I become successful, I will feel valuable. If I become good enough, I will stop doubting myself. If I receive external validation, I will feel calm inside. But sometimes the opposite happens. As success increases, the inner voice becomes harsher, because your mind does not produce reality. It produces interpretations. When you achieve something, your mind might interpret it like this: I succeeded, so I must be valuable. But another mind may interpret the same success differently. I succeeded, but now I have to maintain this. People will expect even more from me. If I fail next time, everything will be exposed. So the issue is not only success. The issue is the meaning your brain gives to success. It may be that you don't see yourself as worthy of your own success, or that your brain sees success as a threat. This is where the protective mechanism of the nervous system can come in. Your brain may not be sabotaging you, it may be trying to protect you, because being visible, being appreciated, and standing out are not always experienced by the brain as simply positive. They can also mean risk. The risk of being criticized, the risk of not meeting expectations, the risk of being rejected, the risk of losing value if you make a mistake, especially if in childhood love, approval, or acceptance were mostly connected to achievement. The mind may have learned this. I have to keep proving myself in order to be valuable. And this learning may continue into adulthood like this. You succeed, but you cannot internalize it. You are appreciated, but you cannot believe it. You are competent, but you do not feel competent. Because external achievement and internal value do not always grow at the same pace. That is why competence can sometimes feel like a lie. The real issue may not be that you are not competent. The issue may be that your mind does not yet know how to carry competence safely. Here is a powerful mirror sentence. You are not a fraud. Believing in your own effort may not feel safe to you yet. If this feels true, there is a very valuable place to work with, because imposter syndrome can show us this. I am growing, but my inner self-image is still standing in an older place. You may have moved forward in the outside world, but inside, an older version of you may still be trying to prove your worth. That is why the first step is not to blame yourself. It is to understand yourself. Understanding your inner world is the first step toward change. So what can you do when you notice this? Let me give you a small practice. The next time the thought comes up, I didn't deserve this, or I'm not actually that good, don't immediately believe it. Pause and write 3 sentences. 1. What is my mind telling me right now? 2. Is there someone around me who has often made me feel that I'm not good enough? Do these sentences sound like their words? 3. Despite this thought, what real evidence do I have? For example, my mind is telling me that I'm not competent enough. This sounds like the words of a parent who criticized me when I was younger. But I completed this work, I received feedback, I put in effort, and it was approved according to the criteria. This may seem like a simple exercise, but it strengthens what we call metacognitive awareness. In other words, instead of getting lost inside the thought, you learn to observe the thought from the outside, because not every thought is true. Some thoughts are just old protection strategies, and each time you can remind yourself, the fact that this feeling is here does not mean I am inadequate. This feeling may simply show that old fears are speaking in an area where I am growing. Reclaiming your value is not about constantly convincing yourself. Reclaiming your value means learning to see success not only through the external result, but also through your effort, your intention, your growth, and your resilience. Because you are not valuable only because of what you do. You existed before the result. You existed before the success. You existed before the praise. Maybe what you need today is not to provide more proof. Maybe what you need is to stop denying your own effort. Subscribe for practical psychology content.